Hello there, everyone. Rebecca Case, EMDR trainer and consultant and licensed clinical social worker, coming to you from Fox Island, Washington, with another EMDR tip video. So this tip video is about common bloops and blunders that happen in EMDR reprocessing phases. And when I say reprocessing phases, I'm speaking specifically to those phases in which we kind of poke the hornet's nest, we activate the target memory for reprocessing, we desensitize the memory, and then we install with the positive cognition and complete the body scan. So here are my top 3 loops and blunders that I often see happening with EMDR therapists. So number 1 happens in the phase 3 assessment script. And that is clinicians think that they have that script memorized and they actually don't. Remember, phase 3 is a scripted phase in EMDR in which Shapiro developed that specific EMDR scripted protocol assessment to activate and stimulate the memory so that you can then transition right into phase 4 desensitization and reprocess the experience. Phase 3 is scripted for a specific reason. It's in a specific order. And if you can't remember why, you might check out my other YouTube video in which I explain the order of phase 3. But it's really important that you're sticking to that script. I often will watch videos of EMDR clinicians practicing and using this phase when they're working on certification for EMDR. And it's not super uncommon that I find that people think they have memorized that script, but they've actually flipped things around. So you might want to go back and revisit that, or just always use your worksheet to guide you because it's really easy to mix questions up. Bloops and blunders number 2 is not using attunement statements when your client is in phase 4 desensitization. So attunement statements, or I sometimes refer to them as cues of presence, are really important ways to hold space and to stay engaged and connected to your client as they're desensitizing a target memory. Remember that while EMDR feels scripted and sometimes robotic, it's not permission for you to leave the room and just check out. You have to change your approach as a therapist from being an active viewer by actively inviting in, interventions and ways to help support your client as you do in talk therapy. But it doesn't mean that you turn into a lizard or a statue or you just check out. So you have to remain an active observer in desensitization. And to do so means that you need to use your physiology to communicate your presence to your client. So ways that I like to do that are by keeping my focus and my attention on my client. I'm not looking around my room or at the phone or checking email or watching my clock. I also really communicate presence with just short little attunement statements when my client is in desensitization. So for example, that might be, yeah, you got this. Just notice that. Yeah. So they might be just minimal encouragers that I use with my vocal tones, or actually just short little phrases or statements that I say. You can also communicate presence with your face, with your eye contact, with facial expressions, with timely and attuned head tilts. Those are just some examples of ways to communicate presence with your client. It's really important because if we just kind of check out and if we're just going through these robotic movements of notice that, adding sets of BLS, what do you notice? Notice that, sets of BLS, and we're not really engaged, it can leave our clients feeling really vulnerable, unsafe, untethered, and as if we just kind of like toss them into the dark and just say like, figure it out on your own. So make sure you stay really engaged with your clients so they feel your presence. And finally, my third most commonly observed loop, blunder, blip of EMDR reprocessing phases is the length and speed of bilateral stimulation in installation of the PC and body scan. So clinicians often think that because when we're installing a positive cognition in phase 5 of installation, because it feels good and it's adaptive, your BLS should be short and slow. It shouldn't. BLS here should still be long and fast. And that's the same for body scan if your client notes any places that they're feeling some distress. So BLS is still fast and long. All phases of reprocessing, BLS is fast and long. Why is that? Because when we're installing the positive cognition, we're not resourcing. So this isn't about like enhancing a resource or an adaptive resiliency kind of skill for clients to use. This is about rewiring memory networks. And so anytime you're rewiring and integrating an experience, your BLS is still going to be fast and long. So when you install the positive cognition, you ask your client, think about that experience and those words, I am lovable, I'm a good person, I'm worthy, whatever their positive cognition was, and just notice fast and long sets of BLS. Fast and long, meaning still about as fast as you were going in desensitization, and long would be about 20 to 30 passes total, okay? Same for body scan. Your client identifies some points of distress or some residue in their body as they think about that memory while holding the positive cognition. Your BLS here is still going to be fast and long because we're just squeezing out that just final bit of yuck that's still held in the nervous system, specifically in the body that's associated with the memory that you've reprocessed. So those are my top 3 common blips, bloops, and blunders that happen in reprocessing phases. If you find that that's something you've been doing, well, good thing you watched this video so you can shore up. And you know what? It's okay because your client probably didn't spontaneously combust because you made a mistake. Make sure that you're staying true to the fidelity to the EMDR protocol because it is an evidence-based practice. And if you're feeling like you need a little bit more support, you can reach out to us at reprcessing.com and get connected with one of our faculty members for some consultation. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching. See you later.